I will call to order the budget meeting of the Butler County Board of Commissioners. Please rise for the members of the silent prayer. Follow the pledge, please. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lord, Amy, Amy, public comment.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The public comment portion of our meeting provides residents and taxpayers of Butler County a reasonable opportunity to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before the board prior to taking official action. Presentations must be limited to 3 minutes. The chairman has asked me to remind everyone that no personal attacks on the character or reputation of county employees, department heads, or any official will be tolerated. Any speaker doing so may be ruled out of order by the chair. I'll call the names in the order that they appear on the sign-up sheet, and when you come to the podium, please state your name and your municipality of residence. And please, I'll apologize in advance if I mispronounce any of these names. Joe Ferrone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Joe Ferrone from Shakur Senior Center. I would like to state that I'm very much against this closing of our centers. Excuse me. We get 100 to 120 people a week at our center. I have checked with the state and with other counties after the article that was in the Butler River. Armstrong County has 12 centers, 10 regular, 2 satellites. They do not plan on closing any of their centers. They do not have to pay for paper products at their centers. What the Area Agency on Aging doesn't give them, the county makes up. I think our county could help us out some too. We are taxpayers. The Nutrition Food Group takes care of both Armstrong County and Butler County. I didn't check with other counties, just those two. Armstrong County does not pay the self-sufficient funding of 15% to 21% in 2019 on the centers to raise that money for total operating cost of the center. The new center is going to go in, from what I'm told, at the mall, and it's going to be open from 8 to 8, and they said they would provide bus service. How many times a day is that bus going to run from Shakur to the mall? Secondly, how far are the people going to have to walk? You've got to realize these people are an average of 70 to 85 years old coming there. They can't walk a long distance. I talked to Suzanne Bellotti from Harrisburg from the AAA. She tells me that this is not a mandated thing from the state. That is a recommended thing if your centers are not efficient. I think ours is. She also told me that Beth Harold told her that they was planning or talking about keeping 3 centers open now instead of just the 1. And I don't, I think you're going to lose a lot of people moving to Butler because those people at 70, 85 years old are not going to drive to Butler to do that. I myself will go to Armstrong County, which is 5 miles away. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, I'd like to say this about Joe's. I'd like to tell the public about Joe's thing about bus travel. You know, the math doesn't work on this change. Beth Harold says they're going to get free busing. Nothing is ever free in life. You know, the centers are paid through by the lottery money. But if we shut down centers, we still have to bus them. Well, it depends on what zone you're in. If you're in Shakur or Slippery Rock, I'm still studying the zone you'd be in. But let's say it's a zone 2. The bus rides are approximately $25 per person per day. Well, all you have to do is take 100. If you multiply this out, if 100 people decide to ride the bus, this is a boondoggle. You know, number one, a lot of in Shakur or in these rural areas, Slippery Rock, the senior citizen can have a driveway that's 300 feet long. You expect them to take their walker and go through the ice and snow out there to meet the bus. You know, their friends are picking on them now to take them to Shakur and But Shakur or the Slippery Rock Center, now this is extremely important in these more rural areas because a lot of them have long driveways. Another thing is who's going to be responsible for the 80-year-old person out at the bus stop with their walker if they fall over and the bus driver doesn't see them, or maybe they have a medical condition and they're out there when it's 10 degrees. What are we going to do then? I mean, that's not even fathomable to me. But the money doesn't work. When you count what it actually costs, I'm doing a study on this, when you count what it actually costs for the bus trips, it would cost more to close the centers, not less. And I'll debate that with anybody. I think that's a winning hand on this. I'm going to fight on this issue, but if you're trying to do it to save money, you're not going to save any money because buses don't run for free. It's very expensive, very, very expensive. It'll just blow you over when you find out what it costs. The people pay $2.50 to ride or $2.80 to ride, but it actually costs like $22 to what zone you're in. Thank you very much, Mike. You're very efficient.
You're welcome. Next, Andy.
Tom McMeekin.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Tom.
Tom McMeekin from Adams in Middlesex Township. I'm here this morning to express our concern and ask for your indulgence in our ongoing concern over the Route 228 improvements proposed improvements that are taking place between Route 8 and the edge of Middlesex Township. We are here not in opposition to anything that would improve 228. I mean, those of us who live in that area know how important 228 is, and we want to see it improved. Our concern is that PennDOT has, in all its, essentially just laid a ruler on a map and said this is how we're going to proceed. They're making a straight line from the top of Falls Bend to Route 8. They're going to be going through some very productive farmland, taking it out of service. It's in service now. They're going to be usurping and taking a number of homes of people that live in that area. Of course, they announced that they're going to pay a reasonable fee, which I frankly am concerned about. What gets me the most aggravated is some years ago I was part of a team of people led under PennDOT auspices to consider the Route 228 corridor from Route 19 to Route 8. Quite a number of different proposals were put forward on routes, and at the end of the day, through a lot of consideration, they decided that they would stay, quote, online. One of the reasons for this was, well, frankly, they already own the right of way. So by going offline, PennDOT is going to have to take more land that they don't need because they already have the land that they need. Their argument is that it'll be safer. I talked with one of the local police officers who indicated that the problem is not the curves, as has been said. The problem are the intersections that they're concerned with. This plan really does not even address the intersection. So the intersection problem will remain the same. They're going to tell us that it's cheaper, which we sincerely debate. They, as PennDOT often does, sits behind closed doors, opens the doors, and announces that they've reached a decision. There's no public discussion. They have no obligation to say to us, here are the facts. It's just, this is the way it will be. So I know that the supervisors in Middlesex are somewhat miffed because they have not been involved in this conversation. I know that you folks have been shown a plan and have supported what I hope is the general idea of improving 228, but not necessarily the exact plan.
That's 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Greg Peterson.
Well said.
Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
You have to say where you're from, right?
Greg Peterson, Middlesex Township.
Okay, thank you.
All right. If I start talking loud and fast, I'm not mad at anybody in this room.
That's good to know.
All right, so I married Jane Hawkins in 1979, moved to the Hawkins farmhouse in 1980. So those are my credentials. Like Tom, they came out of left field with this plan to destroy a farm. And be assured, it's destroying a family farm that has been in the same family for 100 years. The sad part is they don't have to do it. They have not given us a legitimate reason why. It's not safer. They're not fixing anything. They're creating another speedway for 1 mile and dumping it back into a bottleneck. Your point about cost downstream, now we have 2 roads where we have 1 road. So nothing about this makes sense, other it's easy for them. You know, they don't have to worry about existing traffic patterns. They can just go offline. So what we're asking is your support to ask them to stay online. It's the right thing to do. If we're serious about saving family farms, this is the example. Are we serious? That's what I would say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ellen Fema?
Plummer.
I apologize. Please state your
Hello,
name again.
I'm Ellen Flemma of Middlesex Township, and I'm here to speak to you about the Route 228 realignment between Balls Bend and Route 8, as the other 2 gentlemen did. I delivered to your office yesterday a map of this route. The map was from the official map from PennDOT that they showed us several months ago, and also a copy of a letter that I'm sending to the Department of Transportation and other people. But it's much more specific about the situations that the other 2 gentlemen spoke about. Now, I'm not an engineer, but I've studied that map over and over and over again, and I see some real serious problems with it. Now, PennDOT is going to say it's a preliminary map, as is stated on there, but what is really needed is to see the next step, which is the engineering map. Our concern is that PennDOT has sort of fast-tracked this. It's been dragging on for well over 10 years now, and we're told that they're looking to get funding for this by 2017. Well, once they fund it, all bets are going to be off on any changes that we could possibly get. So, and I keep hearing that locally we don't have much influence over what PennDOT decides. Well, if PennDOT is presenting a bad plan to our community, I don't see why we should just have to accept it. We live here and we are going to have to live here for the rest of our days, just like we have had to live with the bad engineering that they did on the Balls Bend curve, and we've had to endure that now for 50 years. The bend is dangerous, and it has proven to be dangerous with accidents, but yet we're still stuck with it. Let's not let them create another Balls Bend situation for us with this new alignment. The upgrade to 228 is needed, and we're not opposed to that. We are really just opposed to where they plan to do this. And as Tom said, it does appear as though they put a ruler right on a piece of paper and said, let's just go directly to Route 8, let's just plow right through whatever's in the way, we don't particularly care, and we can build this 1.5 miles or 1.25 miles without having to deal with 15,000 cars a day on Route 228. I agree with them that that would be much easier, but they are devastating our area. They are taking what is going to amount to at least 6 acres. I know, it doesn't sound like much, and it cut us off from another probably 4 acres of ground that we will not be able to access from anywhere. Those 6 acres are highly valuable to us. They are our best farm ground, and we have a local farm family farming that acreage, intensely farming that acreage, who has a local farm market. Pennsylvania is trying to save their farms. We're trying to grow food locally where it is going to be eaten and consumed. This takes out a significant chunk of ground for that. And in addition, since this proposal has now been made public,
That's 3 minutes. That's your time.
Okay.
Thank you very much for those remarks, all 3 of them.
I'd like to respond to her too. You did hit the right place. Just so you know this, the state of Pennsylvania has like decentralized control over the projects that go through, and if they do it through the SPC. It's not done through Brian Ellis's office or Darrell Metcalf's office. It's done through the SPC, and it's done on the committee. Butler County has 5 members. You're talking to 2 of them, 2 members. Dave Johnson's upstairs on the 5th floor. You can go talk to him before you leave. Bruce Mazzoni, the Cranberry Township Commissioner, is on there, and Jack Cohen, the head of tourism, the head of tourism is on there. So that's basically, when they vote on these issues, you came to the right place. I mean, Darrell Metcalf, our legislators don't have that. They decentralized it, so they try to less politicize when we do an interchange or improve a road. Say, you know, when you go to West Virginia, it's at Bird everything. You know, Bird Highway to nowhere, Bird Bridges, you know, but they decentralized this, and I think it is a good idea. But those are the 5 people, so you hit the people you wanted to talk to. You can just see Bruce Mazzoni and Jack Cohen, but
We don't vote on those, Jim.
you don't vote on 228?
All we vote on is funding.
You
That's
vote
all
on
we
funding?
vote on.
Well, don't need funding to do this.
Well,
Don't
I
they have to
understand
fund
that.
it?
We're voting on funding
With
for
no funding, it won't
228.
go through, right? Huh?
If we don't get the funding for 228, nothing will happen.
Okay, so you.
We
you
do
know,
not vote on a plan.
You don't vote on a plan?
No.
Well,
Okay, next speaker.
Jim Eckstein.
Jim Eckstein, Butler Township. My speech today as County Commissioner, I'm in the process of visiting all 10 of our county senior centers. I have been 7 out of 10 to date. After completion, Peggy Abersol and I will draft a written report with my findings. This report will include the viewpoints of senior citizens that I interviewed and who I visited and utilizing their local senior centers. The following are critical points we need to have addressed before considering a consolidation or closing of any senior centers. The methodology being used to facilitate closing 8 out of 10 senior centers is severely flawed. The data compiled through the use of the system called Copilot is incomplete at best. 2 centers do not have it up and running yet, and 1 center received the system 2 weeks ago. And I don't know in between, but it's delayed. No one in Area and Aging visited all 10 seniors to obtain first-hand information from center attendees. No one. Almost nothing has been done by the Area on Aging to increase the attendance, improving, or change the centers to better meet the needs of the attendees. Almost nothing. In fact, just the opposite was imposed by the Area on Aging Director, Beth Harold. In fact, she imposed a regressive tax on each of the senior centers to keep them open. The first year senior centers have to raise 5% of their total operating expenses. The second year, each center is 10% of the total operating expenses, and the third year is 15%. And I think it goes up after that. The implication of this directive was, if you don't meet the tax quota, your center will close. These aggressive quotas are a plan for failure, not a recipe for success. I've investigated 6 other counties, and none of the 6 charge the senior centers any fee to keep their centers open. Including those counties, 4 are right beside us: Armstrong, Clarion, Mercer, and Lawrence County. None of them charge their senior citizens a fee, let alone a 15% fee or more. Another fee Beth Harold imposed was a 60% increase in lunch fees. In one fell swoop, 60% increase. Another plan for failure. No other county is as high a lunch fee as Butler County. I saved the best to last. The County of Butler, under the directive of Beth Harold, makes senior citizens buy their own paper products, which includes toilet paper. Yes, they buy their own toilet paper to keep the centers open. Now you ask, who buys the commissioners and Beth Harold's toilet paper? The taxpayers do. The commissioners and Beth Harold are entitled to this luxury item, but our seniors are not. Luxury item, not by my point of view. The commissioners get gift-wrapped toilet paper, and senior citizens get an empty roll. Look, every one of ours comes gift-wrapped, and here's what they get, the empty spool. Thank you very much.
Peggy Abersol.
Peggy Abersol, Middlesex Township. On December 31st, 2014, the Board of Commissioners approved Conservationist District's budget for this year. This is a message out for agricultural operators. You are invited to attend the Environmental Regulations Workshop held by the Butler County Conservation District. The workshops will be at the USDA Service Center at 625 Evans City Road on March 25th from 10 a.m. to noon and March 31st from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. The topics covered will include the revised DEP Manure Management Manual, which requires every farm in Pennsylvania that produces or applies manure to develop and implement a written manure management plan. Reviewing the requirements of each section of the manure management plan, which are the maps, pasture or animals concentration areas, soil testing, and the actual application. Third will be revisions to PA Chapters 102 regulations, and the final will be reviewing the need for conservation plans and ag erosion and sediment plans. The primary purpose of this workshop is to inform participants what is required by state and federal law. The goal of the workshop is to have each farmer leave with the needed information to complete a manure management plan of their farm and the requirements for plowing and tilling activities. Copies of the manure management manual plan worksheets will be provided. There is limited seating, so please register early. If you need any questions answered, you can contact Ryan at 724-284-5270 at Conservation. Secondly, what would life be like on Earth without trees? First of all, without trees there would be no oxygen or food. Actually, there would be no life. Conservation District is selling seedling seal order forms, and they're now available through Butler County Conservation from now, and your deadline to put your order in is March 27th. Thank you. Peggy Abersol, Middlesex Township.
Connie Collier.
Connie Collier, Bora Bora. I am also concerned about all of the Butler County senior centers. There's going to be a lot of jobs lost. It's going to, all the managers will lose their jobs. Also, the money that we have to earn, it is just outrageous. And I would like to see how that you people can help us. I mean, it used to be a fun place to go, but it's like a sweatshop now. I mean, we really have to make a lot of stuff and sell a lot of stuff and push a lot of stuff to get that money. And if we don't get the money, then we're going to lose our center. And we've been doing it, but it is really, really tough, and we are just at the end of our road of trying, and we don't want to lose our centers.
Thank you.
I'd like to respond to one thing in there. You know, it's been very hard on me going to these centers because of the deep emotion there. You know, Bill McCreary does Area on Aging and I don't. And I wish I would have gone to the centers before. But there's some deep, you know, feelings here. And you go, and they even invited me back to a couple, which I thought on Thursday they invited back for party day. But and I am going to go too, by the way. Yeah, because I went unannounced there in Chicora. I went announced, but in Evans City I went unannounced, so a lot of them didn't get to talk to me. But let me tell the public this. This is not, I'm telling you what, we haven't done anything to see how to improve this. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. We haven't done any, and if anything, we've driven people away. You know, when you mandate 15% surcharge or tax on senior citizens to keep the center open, and a lot of people don't want to go. I went to Winfield yesterday, and they've lost half their people, and I think a lot of it is they don't want to do that. They can't do it. You know, and it's just, when I heard about this, and I call it, 6 counties don't do it at all. If, you know, I mean, where did we come up with this idea? Butler County is not a poor county. We are very, very lucky with impact fees, and, you know, if we were, you know, we have a growth, and a lot of growth. We are really lucky. We have $600,000 and we're still our royalties from Port Farm. $600,000 we got horizontal drilling royalties under Sunnyview, and we don't want to share any of it. We want to give pay raises and make new jobs and not make new jobs, create new positions, and you know, all these excuses where we can't even buy toilet paper. You know, what do you think I felt? I thought the first person who told me about the toilet paper was just kidding me. Then I went to the next center and they said it, and I go, you know, you know, the county commissioners, you know, they get pensions they get, you know, Dale's getting 16,000 a year, they get pensions,
too
they get
many.
healthcare, and they, you know, but there's no end in sight. Oh, sorry.
Kathy Cook?
Good morning. Good morning.
My name's Kathy Float.
Look,
I'm
thanks.
from Butler Township. And I too am here on behalf of the senior centers. I go to Butler Senior Center. I've been teaching crafts there on Tuesdays. And I've watched the attendance go down. The seniors are tired of fundraisers. They don't have the money to spend, and they're being asked to always donate, work on these fundraisers. It's just not, it's not what seniors should be doing. They should be enjoying the end stages of their lives and getting out and meeting people and socializing, and that's what our senior centers are all about. And we're missing that. We're having to work. Now we're having to lose our senior center. We're down in Tanglewood, where we're in a good location. We cover Butler Township, the surrounding areas. It's a fantastic location, and to lose it, I think, is just ridiculous. They've been very good to us, and our seniors at our center have asked me to just talk in their behalf and let you know that we're so much against this move to Clearview Mall. Many of us don't even go up there. I included. I seldom go to the Clearview Mall. But I think that we have the good location now, and I would hate to see you close our location. And on behalf of the other senior centers too, our seniors need this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark?
I'd like to say this on that. The Tanglewood Senior Center, she brought up the Tanglewood. Look, I first met the Tanglewood when I did Save Our Hospital. They helped me distribute signs. I dropped them in there. There's a lot of people that do this. Charlie's in the room today. He's the head of the, he's the head, and he doesn't do this job. I've known him for 8 years. Let me tell you, he really cares about seniors. A lot of these senior centers, that was really prevalent to me. How much these people who are working at the center, it's like a mission for them, and how much they care and love senior citizens. You make no mistake about that. These people that head up and do this, do it because they love it. And it's very moving to me. That's moving too. And I've had private meetings with them, besides the seniors being there, and I came to that conclusion. But I think we ought to do with the Tanglewood Center. They handle, they have 600 members roughly, maybe 100 come. I go past there every day, come to work, I go home, I go past the Tanglewood Senior Center. There's cars there, they rent halls out, they're a going concern. We should not pull the rug out from Tanglewood Senior Center. You know, Chef George, I forget his last name, but he's a super guy. He runs, I don't know of any better, I mean, he's just a super person. You know, they raise money, they get no government money besides what we pay them in rent. And we want to take the rent off of them, so to hurt them. We should be doing public-private partnerships with the Tanglewood. You know, they save us tons of money. They're doing a lot of this. They don't receive any money except the rent money we pay them for the senior center when we rent their space. To hurt them like this and move to Clearview Mall without clear, they did not explore moving the main center or improving the Tanglewood. It has not been even, you know, they didn't talk with them. I met with the leadership there twice now at the Tanglewood, and it doesn't happen. You know, we have to do something to facilitate improving the centers we have. You try the best you can, okay? Thanks.
Mark Konetsky.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm trying to change the subject a little bit. I ran Sunday. It was really nice in North Park. I'm going to tell you, they have, I wish we had something like that here in Butler County. I mean, I have places out around Butler County. But you have a nice 5-mile loop around that lake. There must have been 300-400 people running around there, running or walking. And like I said, I wish we had a similar place in one of our parks. Okay, I got here this morning. I want to talk about parking again. I was not able to park in front of my house right over here. I had to park in a meter, okay? That's because of county employees, okay? It's just that simple. I understand it's not going to be able to help much longer. The next one, I don't want to belabor too much, but I want to, my thing with tax money, I don't care where it comes from, if it comes from the state, the federal government, or the county. It's all tax money. We want to do our best not to waste anything. It's always important to me how we spend it. Don't want to mention too much about fees, but I'm going to talk a little bit about fees. Because they've been talking about the fees they have to pay for the senior center. Now I'm going to talk about fees at the other end. I have to pay $100. Looks like I'm paying $100 for a kid to take a summer gym this year, which is fine. I can afford it. There's no problem there. And I'm happy with it. I've complained about the schools district. They're charging kids to play golf. $60 a kid to play golf. We, Crandall Golf Course, donate golf for a JV golf team. While the country club donates for the varsity. Highland donates for the girls team, and Lake Arthur donates for the tryouts. It's all donated golf, and Butler's charging fees. No one likes fees, but unfortunately, we get stuck with them. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your service. I really do.
Thanks, Mark. Next.
Beth Harold.
Hello, Commissioners.
Hi, Beth.
I just have about 3 minutes to speak. And I think I have been to most of your senior centers and talked to you at great depth about it. I take many phone calls every day, and I talk to people about some of the things that we're looking at the senior center. And some of the things that are looking into have been misconstrued by different sources. And I'm just here to kind of say what exactly is happening with the senior centers right now. And I think that from talks that I've had at your centers, you can pretty much reiterate this is what I'm saying. We are right now in an informational gathering process. We realize that the attendance in our senior centers has not been increasing. We have been looking at ways to increase the attendance and increase the resources that currently are provided at our centers. We're trying to increase the accessibility to some of our centers. And by doing this, we're sending out surveys to approximately 5,000 individuals that have been sent out in the mail. We also are attending the senior centers, getting verbal input and giving them senior surveys to send back in to get their input. We're looking at various places, various models at ways to increase the attendance. The Clearview Mall option is one option. Looking at schools that are closing is an option that we have looked at. We've looked at decreasing days in certain senior centers, increasing hours in other senior centers, but enhancing our 2 main locations, one in Butler, wherever that may be, and our Cranberry site. Our Cranberry site is an enhanced model. It has an indoor walking track. It provides a variety of exercise classes and educational opportunities. We do talk to the state regularly. I talked to Suzanne Bellotti about the importance of our small centers that we have and the surgeons of needing some enhanced resources or some different hours for seniors that may want to attend the senior center but are unable to because of the current hours being daylight hours. We're also looking at ways to provide resources to family members of those that are over 60. Many of them need to come to talk to us about county assistance issues, Social Security issues, insurance issues, living wills, advanced directives, meeting with our legal staff. And sometimes those daylight hours aren't the best times, or if we can have a center that's open from 8 to 8 and have some Saturday hours where we can put some of our staff into that center, that'll increase not only the seniors, but their families' accessibility. We are looking at enhancing, like I said. Lawrence County does charge a fee to their individuals that belong to their senior centers. As of the lunch fees being increased, since I was hired 3 years ago, I have never increased the lunch fees at the senior center. That was done prior to me taking over. Over a year before I started, the lunch cost was increased to the $2.50. According to the paper products, that was done prior to me becoming in office also. I have never said to the seniors that you have to buy your own paper towels, you have to buy your own toilet paper. That was part of the RFP that was done with LSS. So that's all I wanted to say.
Beth, can I ask you a couple questions?
Yes, if they're, go ahead.
This is not a dialogue.
I can't have a dialogue with
You can
constituents?
speak to her. Not during this time.
So you don't want her to answer questions for the senior citizens?
No, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Beth. Question is this. What independent agency, you're doing a survey, they're mailing out the survey. My
Yes.
question is, who's the survey going to? And what independent agency is going to receive those surveys and compile the?
We are sending out the surveys, and we are receiving the data, and we are compiling it. And we are not skewing it off, because my job is to look at what the seniors want and to provide that model. It may be a cohort model of having enhanced and the senior centers the way they are and some to meet needs of different populations. We are collecting all that data, and the data will not be skewed. I can trust you can
Well,
you can come and look at it anytime you want.
I'm glad that Bill McCary and Dale aren't counting my votes during this upcoming election, okay? I'd like to say that. Increase in attendance.
Jim, you're out of order. This is not a time to bash Beth Harold.
I'm not
You're
bashing.
insinuating that she's going to skew the count on those votes. This is not a question and answer time. If you want to make comments, fine. But Beth,
I am very passionate about the
you're not
senior
to answer
centers.
any more questions.
So am I. So am I. Let's have a public meeting that's separate so that people can voice their concerns. We can have it here. Let's have a public meeting at the Tanglewood or here so people can have a dialogue. If we're not allowed to have a dialogue here, by the commissioner's order, we're not allowed to have a dialogue. Let's have a dialogue at the
I'm happy to
Tanglewood.
talk to any senior that calls me on the phone, or I go and meet with the centers and I.
Let's have a public meeting, Beth. Thank you.
Any other speakers?
That's all for public comment.
All right, moving on then. Old business, is there any old business?
No, sir. We do need approval of minutes, please.
I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion we approve the minutes.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Proclamation,
None, sir.
old business,
Also none.
new business.
Under new business, the first item is emergency services. Steve Weisshaus.
Morning, Commissioner.
Hi, Steve.
I have two items for consideration today. Item number one is approval of a one-year client license and service agreement with Priority Dispatch for the 911 Center's Emergency Medical Dispatch Program in the amount of $8,448 with authorization for the chairman to sign. As you recall, this is a system that we implemented last year, the emergency medical dispatch system that hadn't been updated in over 20 years. It is currently running and working very well. This is a budgeted line item.
Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item number two, I have is approval of a one-year maintenance agreement with Eaton Corporation for the 911 Center's uninterrupted power supply in the amount of $7,316.19 with authorization for the chairman to sign. This is the battery backup system to the 911 Center, so if there's a power failure, in the lag time between the generator kicking on, we certainly don't want to lose power to any of our computers or phone switches or anything like that. This covers that period. So,
Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Steve. Amy, next item, please. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, guys. I'm here seeking approval to settle some tax assessment appeals conditioned upon approval by all involved taxing bodies. Butler Crossing, also known as Coles, at $5,800,000 market value. Coles Cranberry, $6,950,000 market value. Target and Butler Township at $9,350,000. Dayton Hudson, also Target and Cranberry Township at $9,887,500 market value. Broadway Partners in Cranberry Township at $5,875,000. Local Union in Butler City Ward 3 at $920,000. Butler Country Club at $3,100,000 and Beer Metallurgical at $1,175,000. I ask for your approval.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
I'd like, yeah.
Aye.
Yes, sir.
No, okay. I'd just like to thank Chris and Mike English. These are difficult, but Chris has a lot of experience, and they work together to come up with an amicable solution on these problems. And a lot of times, that's the best thing to do. I mean, I really appreciate them working that out. It's never hard, but it's best for our community. Okay, thanks.
By the way, I don't time you when you compliment me.
Does the board need me for anything else?
No, you're excused.
And I didn't mean to interrupt the vote, that was all, yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
No.
Thank you, guys.
You look sharp today, Chris.
Thank you.
And we did all vote yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt that.
Mr. Chairman, if I may interrupt the agenda for a moment, there are some individuals here who are not familiar with our public comment procedures who had asked for an opportunity to address the board but had not indicated that on the sheet. Now, we have had 10 speakers, which according to our policies is our limit for public comment. But I wanted to present this to the board for your consideration on allowing, I believe it's just one individual, George Bryden, to speak under public comment.
Objection?
No objection from me?
Bill? George, you're on.
George Bryden from Slipper Rock Senior Center. All these comments people have made about the activities there, they're a very busy place. It's not all just eating lunch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to do. I remember my mother, back 50 years ago, went to a senior center continually till she passed. They moved the senior center at the township building. She continued to go. In that time, we went through not one or two, maybe more recessions. Terrible times. But the senior center's never closed. And I think the seniors need that opportunity to have some place to go in order to have their socialization. And it shouldn't be a slave shop. They shouldn't have to work to go there. They should just go and enjoy the activities. I guess that's all I have to say. My mother, I know, went a long time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your comments.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Okay, next item.
Thank you, Commissioners. Next, under elections, Sherry Brewer is asking to present this item for her. We're asking for your approval of a quote from Iron Mountain for the election results scanning project as approved by the Records Management Improvement Committee in the amount of $4,309.37 with authorization for the chairman to sign. And we have your approval.
Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, under Parks and Recreation, Gary Pinkerton.
Hi.
Morning, Commissioner.
Were you back there the whole time?
Yes, I was.
I was confident about how you run the ship up there.
No, I was there.
Okay.
Commissioners, today I'm here to ask for your approvals to advertise for bid for the renovation of the Clare Borough Park and Tennis Courts. Funding for the project is provided by a grant from DCNR and a grant from the county as part of the local park renovation grant program.
Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Secondly, I'm here this morning to ask permission to enter, for the county to enter into a contract with Jumpstart Sports, one for the operation of sports camps and one for the operation of what we call an Olympiad camp at the end of the season. No cost to the county. In fact, the county will receive revenue based on the total registration of the camps and programs.
Is there a motion? So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second that
Those
motion.
in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, Gary.
Gary, thanks for thinking of those, getting them involved, and I think that was a great idea. You briefed us on that Monday to get more people involved in the park. That was,
We're just trying to use our facilities.
oh yeah, great idea. Thank you for Jumpstart.
Next, under planning, the CDBG program, Wendy Leslie.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Good morning, or good afternoon, I'm not sure.
It just seems long. It's not.
I got two items for your consideration today. The first one, we're asking for your approval to advertise for bids for Jefferson Township's Laura Bear Park project. And this involves DCNR and CDBG funding. The bids would be due into the County Controller's Office on Friday, April 17th by 2 p.m. Opened at the agenda setting meeting on Monday, April 20th at 9:30. There will be a mandatory pre-bid meeting held at the park
plans, specifications, and bid documents can be obtained through Widmer Engineering. All the specifics will be included in the advertisement for the bids, and we ask for your approval.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Last item, we're asking for your approval to revise some 2012 CDBG funding. The first is Adam Township. These are leftover funds from sewer taps of $2,845, and Eau Claire Borough from their sidewalks and curb cut projects, $2,472.14. We'd like to reallocate that to West Sunbury Borough's sidewalk curb cut project. Currently, West Sunbury has a total of $49,000 to do their project. These leftover funds would give them a total of $54,317.14 towards the project. No sidewalks will be done in front of businesses. The leftover funds will enable the borough to do just a little bit more than they originally thought, and the engineering is in the design stage of this right now, so we're hoping to get this out to bid very soon. We ask for your approval.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
Under Commissioners, we're asking your approval to appoint Mike Brasnauskas as President of the Zillionople Area Public Library Board to serve on the Butler County Federated Library System Board of Trustees.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And our last item, we'd like your approval of a workplace wellness agreement with Butler Memorial Hospital to provide occupational testing according to the rate sheet that is included in the agreement.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all for new business.
Is there a motion to approve the budgetary transfers?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the new hires?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion to approve the travel request?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A motion to approve the requisitions?
So moved.
I'll second that. I'm sorry.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the check register?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second
Those
it.
in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Conference time with the media. Kayla?
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there any timeline concerning consolidating or closing the senior centers?
No, I don't believe there is. I have to confer with Beth, but as far as I know, there's no time plan for either leaving them open or keeping them closed. We have to, or they have to evaluate everything and see what the best plan is for the seniors.
Since you were on the Area Agency on Aging Board, do you plan or have you already been to all 10 of the centers?
I have been to them before. I haven't been to them recently. I've been to all of them.
Do you plan on going before the board makes a decision?
I don't know.
Okay, that's all for now. Thank you.
Tom,
I have nothing right now, thank you.
is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.